Boss ME-90B is an interesting one because it attempts to blend digital brain with analog controls, and as you can tell, there's a lot of those analog controls here. Over the past couple of months, I've used the ME-90B extensively both here in the studio and playing live as well, and I'll be sharing my observations of this unit as a studio tool and as a live performance unit as well. I should also mention that I'm bringing this video to you in collaboration with Boss, and I get to keep this unit as compensation for my work. However, the company has no say in the things I mentioned in the video. If we take a look at the backside, if you will, balanced out, round lift switch, input, right, left, output, so this does stereo effects as well. Amp line switch depending on what you're running this into, phones out, and an effects loop as well. I also got an optional Bluetooth receiver unit that you can use with your ME-90B or many of the newer Katana amps and such. Then there's USB-C for updating this thing, uploading your own IRs, using the desktop editor, and installing updates as well. Power switch, and then a power input. Interestingly enough, this doesn't say anything about what kind of power supply you should have. I'm just running a classic one spot here, and this works just fine. Alright, first I'm going to show you some basic operations of how this works. First of all, there's two things. There's a memory mode and there's a manual mode. Right now, by clicking this button, we can switch between memory mode and manual mode. And manual mode, as the name suggests, is, well, manual. You can engage or disengage different things here. So for example, you can see it says amp/EQ, which is this section over here. I can engage that, and now this block over here, amp/EQ, is engaged. If I want to have a compressor, for example, or compressor/effects here, I'm going to click here, and as you can tell, this says comp, there's comp/effects1, so basically, yeah, we just engaged this block over here. Same goes here, this says mod, there's mod over there, so by clicking this, I'm engaging this row over here. And as you can tell, there's a bunch of effects. There's chorus, tremolo, pan, flanger, slicer, delay. And then again, there's filter, so there's that. There's drive and synth, which is this block over here. There's delay and reverb as well. And there's also a blend control that you can engage from here as well. So in manual mode, I kind of think of the ME-90B as a super versatile pedal board where there's an amp section, and then you can have a bunch of your favorite effects from these blocks, and then you can trigger them on or off while you're playing. And when you're happy with the pedal board you kind of assembled, you can just click right and then use these controls to browse to the user slot you want to save this to. I'm just going to go with U1 and click right. And there you go. It's saved into user slot 1. I should also mention that anything you do here, like any different drives or anything like that you assign to these foot switches, all of those get saved to that patch. And if we switch to the memory mode, it's pretty much what you think it probably is, which is recalling a set of different parameters with a single switch. So this changes different effects, blends, things like that with a single press of a button. So if you are playing live and you need to swap a lot of things at the same time, you can program all of those behind these foot switches over here. If you feel you need more help understanding how the manual and memory modes work, I'm going to drop a link to my blog down below where I go in detail how both of these work. So if you end up getting ME-90B yourself, you'll know how to use it right from the start. Alright, let's check out some tones using my Sterling Stingray bass. Let's start with the amp section over here. Bypass signal, if you will. Then we are going to click here. We are on manual mode, by the way. Right now, I'm on a solid stack. Let's go with classic blue, for example. There's a solid stack, which I suspect is something like a MPEG maybe. Maybe. Also, the amp channel has an option to just go EQ, so we can use these controls, but with no amp simulation going on. Hitting comp engages this section over here, as you can tell, and there's a bunch of limiters, compressors. Polyoctave, for example, sounds like this. So one thing that I absolutely love about ME-90B is how it integrates into playing live, and especially in my case, where kind of church bands are assembling once or twice before we actually play live in front of people. And many times it's a total kind of guessing game what kind of tones we're going after, or like what kind of arrangements the band leader has been thinking of, and we kind of have to figure a lot of stuff on the fly. And that's where this thing is just brilliant. There's so many effects available right from the control panel over here. As I demonstrated, the kind of manual mode is great for that. Like if I feel the chorus actually needs some drive, I can program something here. If we come up with an idea to do like an ambient bass intro, I have delay and reverb available over here. Like everything is here, no menu diving, anything like that. And I feel it has helped me to focus on what's important, which is getting the desired tone as quickly as possible, so my bandmates don't have to like sit and wait for me to dial in the tones, dive into menus, anything like that. It's all here, it's fast, it sounds good, and I can save the whole thing to use it later. And this applies to playing live as well. I can dial in all the tones I want here in my home studio, but when I go to that rehearsal space, or when I go to play at church, for example, the acoustics of the place are so different that being able to dial in everything quickly from these controls is absolutely fantastic. And I'm not saying you can't do those things on other modelers as well, but it's just the immediacy and just having all of these knobs right at my fingertips. Maybe I'm just old school, but I love that. Alright, let's talk about the editor app a little bit. Right now I'm plugged in via USB into my computer, and you can see the edited app here on the desktop. I'm by the way running out of cameras, so you cannot have like a proper base cam, sorry for that. So here in the editor, first of all, you can manage all of the presets. So there's the presets created by Boss. Then there's the user presets, and then there's the manual mode. Let's, just for the sake of it, try a few of these. Rock crunch. And as you can tell, when I engage different blocks here, these are also demonstrated on the desktop editor as well. And what's cool is that if I go to a fuzz, for example, I can both engage it, but I can also tweak the settings here and save it, so you can pretty much just have the ME-90B plugged into your computer and tweak all of the parameters from the desktop editor, which I really like. So this is where you can control all the presets, adjust all of the settings, things like that. But then there's also a librarian, and you can create a live set, so a collection of different presets, for example, that you can recall. Then there's the Boss Tone Exchange, where you can download presets created by others. You can upload your own impulse responses here as well. And then there's some system settings as well. And what the optional Bluetooth module here allows me to do is to actually take this phone and use it to tweak some of the settings of this. Though I do have to close the Tone Central over here. Let's close it. And now I have the app open over here. It's connecting to the ME-90B. And there you go, pretty much very similar stuff as on the desktop editor as well. Tone librarian, I can download patches here as well, synth tones. Let's try downloading something actually. Let's see how it works. Mod synth sounds good. Can I hear it right away? I do! That was fast. Funk octave. Oh, I think this might be a preview. This is kind of cool. Nice. And one really cool thing that you could do when playing live, for example, is have your bandmate, for example, either use the app to dial in your unit, or maybe you ask your bandmate to play the bass a little bit and you walk back to like a sweet spot in the place you're performing at, and you can tweak the tones there to kind of accommodate to whatever space you're playing at. Just an idea. I have to confess something. The first time I saw the ME-90B in someone else's video, my first reaction was like, whoa, what is that? Why does it look like a supercomputer from 1960s? Now that I've had my ME-90B for a few weeks, I love it. Having like actually physical knobs is so much fun. And most importantly, it sounds really good. It's super fast to tweak because it has physical controls, no menu diving, anything like that. And if I ever end up playing in a band where I need a bunch of presets, it can do that as well. It's boss quality, meaning it's built like a tank. And I literally mean that, like how many broken boss pedals are out there? Very few, I would say. I also understand that this might lack certain like coolness factor, if you will. There's no like touch screens or fancy menus or anything like that. It's just knobs and switches. It's almost like a meat and potatoes type of dish, but take it to the max, if you will. I'm gonna stop with the stupid analogies and just tell you that I love this unit. It sounds great. It's built like a tank. It does pretty much everything I've ever dreamed of doing with a bass guitar and more. And I've just had so much fun with it. And again, because it's boss quality, I can trust that it's going to last me a long time as well. And if you're interested to get your own Boss ME-90B and also support what I do, the affiliate links in the description. And again, if you're looking for more information on how to program the presets and stuff, links to my blog in the description as well. If you got any questions, be sure to ask those in the comment section down below. And at this point, I also encourage you to subscribe, hit the like button, just click all the buttons on the screen and good things will happen. Thanks so much for watching. I shall see you next time.